In the beginning, when I first stumbled upon the whispers of the Red Room while scrolling aimlessly through obscure forums at night, I dismissed them as exaggerated urban legends designed to scare gullible internet lurkers. Stories meant to live only in the deep shadows of the web, where anonymity and horror dance together. But something about the persistence of those stories gnawed at my curiosity, especially the ones claiming that people who entered the Red Room never truly left the same, either vanishing from existence or returning with eyes that no longer seemed human. And against my better judgment, I found myself sinking into the layers of the dark web, following encrypted links and shifting addresses until a simple black screen welcomed me with one chilling question. Do you want to watch? And although my instincts screamed to close my laptop and walk away, some strange force pushed me forward, clicking yes. And what followed was the beginning of the longest, most terrifying night of my life. The screen flickered, showing a dimly lit room, crimson light washing over the concrete walls, as if the walls themselves were bleeding. A chair in the center, bound with leather straps, a camera angle fixed with brutal precision, and chat messages flowing in from anonymous viewers, people bidding money, demanding suffering, and for a moment I was frozen, telling myself it was staged, actors playing a sick game, until the camera shook slightly, and a hooded figure walked into view dragging someone by their wrists. A girl with her face swollen from crying, muffled screams spilling through duct tape, and something in her features struck me as disturbingly familiar, almost like I had seen her in family photos years ago. I leaned closer, heart pounding, only to realize the resemblance was not to her, but to someone else, my own cousin, who had gone missing 2 years prior and whose disappearance was always shrouded in mystery, a case that had destroyed our family's peace. And as if fate wanted to break me further, the hooded man finally lowered his mask, revealing the twisted, unmistakable face of my uncle, the same uncle who had consoled us at every gathering, who had pretended to cry alongside us at my cousin's memorial, who had always played the part of the grieving father. And now here he was, commanding the Red Room, his eyes hollow, yet burning with an insatiable hunger for cruelty, his lips curling into a grin that made bile rise in my throat. And the realization that he was not just part of this nightmare, but its architect nearly paralyzed me, because suddenly every family secret, every odd disappearance of distant relatives, every eerie silence at family dinners clicked into place like the final piece of a puzzle I wished I had never solved. The viewers in the chat were egging him on, bidding higher amounts for more grotesque acts, their usernames flashing like vultures circling the dying, and my uncle addressed them with a showman's flair, as if he were both executioner and entertainer, laughing into the camera, describing his victim's pain with disturbing detail. And I wanted to scream, but my throat locked up, my shaking hands hovering above the keyboard, torn between closing the laptop forever or calling for help. Yet some morbid compulsion rooted me there, watching as if my silence somehow kept her alive, because every time I thought of alerting someone, I feared it would only make him escalate quicker. And as the night dragged on, every moment felt like a descent into hell, with my uncle taunting the faceless crowd, mocking the concept of family, revealing in his monologues that he had been orchestrating disappearances for years, hiding his crimes behind the mask of a trustworthy man. And I realized this Red Room was not merely a stage, it was his temple, a place where he could unleash the darkness he had carefully disguised in the daylight. At one point, as he raised a blade gleaming under the crimson light, he looked directly into the camera, his eyes piercing through the screen as if he could see me watching, as if he knew. And in that chilling moment, I felt exposed, vulnerable, convinced he had always suspected I would find him. And then, with a voice that still echoes in my nightmares, he whispered, "Family should always support my work," before dragging the blade slowly across the bound victim's arm, feeding the crowd's lust for gore, while I, unable to breathe, realized that he wasn't speaking to the anonymous masses. He was speaking directly to me, daring me to break the silence, daring me to acknowledge the monster behind the familiar smile. And though I wanted to smash the laptop, to erase everything, my body betrayed me, forcing me to witness hours of torment, each second stretching into eternity, until finally the feed cut out abruptly, leaving me staring at my reflection on the dark screen, drenched in sweat, trembling, unable to comprehend the weight of what I had just witnessed. Since that night, my life has become a labyrinth of fear, paranoia, and sleepless nights, because I know the truth no one else suspects. I know the missing faces in our family albums are not accidents, and every time my uncle hugs me at gatherings, whispering how proud he is of me, I feel the blood drain from my veins, because behind his smile is the crimson glow of the red room, waiting, always waiting. And though I carry the burden of this knowledge, I cannot speak, because deep down I fear that if I ever expose him, if I ever dare break the silence, the next victim strapped to that chair beneath the bleeding light will not just resemble family, it will be me.